The cosecant and the secant can be talked about together. We'll do each one, talk about the critical points, each one separately, but we're just going to talk about our key points that we used from before. The 0, pi over 2 pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi, because these are, remember, reciprocals, so they are have the same period as sine. Remember, this is 1 over sine, and this is 1 over cosine. So if I think about it, when is sine 0, since this is 1 over sine, remember? So when is sine 0, because that's when it's undefined? Well, when all values that are multiples of pi. And then at pi over 2, sine is 1, so 1 over 1 is 1, and 3 pi over 2, it's negative 1. So one way that we can do this is we can first graph our sine, which remember what goes like this, 0, pi over 2, like this, right? And I graph it. And then I know wherever it crosses 0, there's an asymptote. And it's a reflection. So the 1 is the same, but now it looks like this because it's 1 over that. So it's the reciprocal. So that's what my secant looks like. My cosecant looks like. My secant is 1 over cosine. So when is cosine 0? Where it's 0 at pi over 2 and 3 of pi over 2, and cosine is 1 at 0 and 2 pi, and it's negative 1 at pi. Remember, it's just a reciprocal. So here I could graph what the cosine looks like, and then every time it's 0, I have a asymptote, and then it also is a reciprocal. So here we could have changed where we look. We could have added here, and then we would have seen the whole curve, or here, and we could have seen the whole curve. But either way, cosine is 1 over secant, so it's just flipped. So they look a little bit different. And we can see here, if we look at both of them, the range, we talked about the range, so the range of secant and actually cosecant, both the ranges are from negative infinity to negative 1, and 1 to infinity, and we can see here from the graphs how that is. Remember, in our domain, we have every time for cosine, odd multiples of pi over 2, it's secant, odd multiples of pi over 2, it's undefined, and for cosecant, odd multiples of pi, it's undefined, so we can't include those in our domain.